The House will be in order.
There are 435 voting members of the U.S. House, but it wasn't always this way. The very first House of Representatives had just 65 lawmakers. In the following years, the number of representatives grew as the population grew, until it was capped by an act of Congress in 1929.
It's a completely arbitrary number, and it's not actually the way that the framers intended the House to work.
The U.S. population has nearly tripled since then, to about 330 million from 122 million, making it more difficult, some argue, for lawmakers to respond to the will of the people.
The framers had this baseline of 30,000 people per representative. That number today is 760,000 people per representative.
A number of bills have been introduced to expand the House. Supporters make several arguments in favor of passage.
Having smaller constituencies would make it easier for them to manage constituent service requests.
Marcy Harris of the Pop Vox Foundation, a good government group, says another benefit would be reducing the committee assignments of members.
In our increasingly complex world, there is, the argument that more specialization or the ability for each individual member to kind of specialize on fewer topics would give them a little bit more expertise and opportunity to go deeper.
But adding representatives could make it more difficult for party leaders to achieve consensus among their members, complicating the legislative process.
Invariably, Congress and whipping votes is always likened to herding cats. And if you're adding 150 or 190 cats, that's many more to herd.
Expanding the House could also create a more basic problem, a lack of office space.
Already, Congress is space constrained, and the reports of staffers working in closets are not just hyperbole.
The Pop Vox Foundation says an expansion could be coupled with the construction of a new office building with open spaces to encourage bipartisan collaboration.
Having a place where people can collaborate or run into each other or pull up a few tables and sit down together, those are the kinds of things that facilitate good relationships.
Expanding the House also would increase the number of electoral votes at stake in presidential elections. It's one of several political consequences that have prevented legislation to enlarge the House from advancing. But as the U.S. population continues to grow, pressure to expand the House is likely to grow too. In Washington, Charlotte Scott, Spectrum News.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.